Rolling. Just 1 second. ये हटा दूं. Just 1 second. मार्कर कहाँ है? Oh, pen. Okay. Let's begin now. Good morning, children. Very good morning, everyone. Hope voice is coming. Voice, picture, everything clear. Coming now. The Shara holidays, yeah, they were good. The Shara holidays, they were good. So good morning, children. Yes, I enjoyed, but I enjoyed too much. The effect of that, when I came, I was like full of tired and fever, and those 2-3 days were really, I think day before yesterday, I did not come also. I was on total, entire day, I was on fever pills. Anyway, so let us now begin, and we have to start. One update I will tell you that in this weekend test, only digestive system is there. It's a calculation mistake wherein 2 classes are extra counted. We earlier thought of 4 classes, but 2 of them counted, as usually they are counting 6 of them. So don't worry, no worries. It is only up to the end of digestive system. Okay, guys, so I think everything is clear. Shall I start now? Okay, done. We have to start with the digestive glands. Digestive glands. Believe me, I will give in a very, very schematic way. The sequence is really easily understandable without any hodgepodge happens. So my suggestion to you, please note down as much as you can. Please note down the class. Digestive glands. So what are those glands? We'll discuss 5 of them. 5 of these glands are salivary glands. Come on, think of salivary glands, gastric glands, then liver. I'll write here salivary glands. Okay. Then gastric glands, then liver is also there, liver helping in digestion, making bile. After liver, we have pancreas. In the pancreas, only exocrine part of pancreas, because we know that there is an endocrine part of pancreas also. And after pancreas, we have got the intestinal glands. And whenever I'm saying intestinal glands, we mean only in the small intestine. Intestinal glands are not there in the large intestine, only in the small intestine. Shall we? Very little children are there, and this is something which is demotivating. Anyways, I have to do the duty. Then it look like a duty. Okay, salivary glands. These are 3 pairs in human being. How many? 3 pairs are salivary glands. The largest of them is parotid. Parotid gland is the largest of this gland, and parotid gland is the target of a virus called mumps virus. There is a disease called mumps. And mumps virus attacks several parts of the body, including the parotid gland. And in children, there is a fever, and this area becomes swollen because the parotid gland swelling occurs. There is inflammation of the parotid gland occurs. So just in salivary gland, keep it in mind that mumps virus attack parotid gland, not other glands, parotid. The other name of the glands are submandibular and sublingual. All are paired. Once again, parotid, submandibular, sublingual. Here also parotid, submandibular, and sublingual paired. Now, earlier we used to tell about the name of these ducts also. Right now, I don't think so that the name of ducts, all these things are required. One thing I should say that submandibular can also be called submaxillary. Submandibular can be called submaxillary. However, if you ask me, the better word is submandibular because mandibles are the lower jaw and they are beneath the lower jaw. But some people call them submaxillary also. So if you see this written submaxillary, consider it to be submandibular. They produce a juice called saliva. You may not imagine that in a day we produce around 1 to 1.5 liter of saliva. How much? 1 to 1.5 liter of saliva in a day. The pH of saliva, so I'll now, the secretion is called saliva. The pH of saliva, yes, please. For every juice, you have to say the pH. So saliva, the pH of saliva, what we can do here is we can make a table. Okay, we'll make the table at the last. Saliva, pH is 6.8. The enzymes in saliva are two. Number one, salivary amylase, because we have other amylase also, pancreatic amylase. So it is better to call it salivary because it is from the pancreas, pancreatic amylase, and from the saliva, and present in the saliva is salivary amylase. The other one is lysozyme. What is the function of amylase? What it digests? Amylase, what amylase digests? Yes, starch. Amylase is an enzyme to digest starch. Starch or glycogen. Glycogen means carbohydrate. So it digests starch or glycogen. If you eat non-vegetarian food, then in your body, even glycogen is there, and glycogen is digested by the same amylase. Starch is made up of amylose and amylopectin, and from that, the word amylase has been taken. Any word ending with ase is an enzyme. So most of these words end with ase. Lysozyme. Now, lysozyme is an antibacterial enzyme because it can digest the cell wall. The bacterial cell wall it can digest, and if the cell wall is digested, the bacteria cannot survive. The bacteria dies. So it is bactericidal. It can kill the bacteria. It is antimicrobial. Thankfully, small amount of lysozymes is also present in the tears. In the body secretions, presence of these antimicrobial help to prevent the bacterial growth. So pathogenic bacteria do not grow normally because of these antibacterial present in our tissues. But I think you understand this. All points clear? All points clear to you? Okay. Now, very small amount of lipase is also found, but that is you can ignore. The lingual lipase you can ignore. But you cannot ignore presence of urea, a very tiny amount, very small amount of urea is also present in the saliva. So this is also in the body secretions, this excretory waste is found. So just remember these points about the saliva. Lysozyme, antibacterial, amylase for digesting starch and glycogen, and pH is 6.8 and produced by the 6 glands, 3 paired glands, and the largest of those glands is parotid. Parotid is in front of the pinna, then submandibular is below the mandible, the lower jaw, and sublingual, lingua means tongue. They are present below the tongue, sublingual. Is this point clear? Very simple. Next gland, gastric glands. Gastric glands are present in the mucosa of stomach. Mucosa of stomach, okay? Now, these are simple tubular glands, or they can be branched tubular. Simple tubular, simple branch tubular. In the mucosa of the stomach, okay? and they produce a juice called gastric juice. It is an acidic juice. They produce gastric juice. In the stomach, gastric juice is produced by these glands, and these glands are called gastric glands. These are formed by invagination of which layer? Mucosa. They are invagination of mucosa. And these are the cells. So epithelial cells are here. If you can tell me the name of this epithelium, I will be very happy. If you can tell me the name of this epithelium lining the stomach. Epithelium lining the stomach. Okay, I'm giving you some hint also while making, but you have to remember, because from the diagram only hint can be seen, not more than that. Diagram is just indicative. Yes, guys, come on. Epithelium, yes. Who is saying ciliated? For heaven's sake, beta, don't say ciliated. There is no function of cilia here. This is a simple columnar glandular. Simple columnar glandular. I'll write here. It is simple columnar. Simple columnar with goblet cells. With goblet cells. So glandular word can also be used. Simple columnar with goblet cells. Okay, guys? Sorry, guys. Simple columnar glandular. The glands in this are goblet cells, and this is again glandular epithelium. These are the gastric glands. Three types of cells are present. Three types of cells. Let me tell you the name of those cells. We have to remember the name of the cells. One cell is called MNC. MNC stands for multinational company, but here MNC stands for mucous neck cell. What is this? Mucous neck cell. The other cell types, these are called the chief cells. Okay, so they are chief cells. Chief cells. They can also be called as yes. How to make it silent? इसको साइलेंट कैसे करें यार? Some people don't have साउंड, शायद बंद हो गया. ठीक है. बच्चों, chief cells also known as peptic cells. Thank you. Chief cells or peptic cells, they produce zymogens. Anyone can tell me what is zymogen? Who can tell me zymogen? Okay, please tell me zymogen. What do you mean by zymogens? Inactive enzymes. Very good. Zymogens means inactive enzymes. So I'm giving the name of these cells. Number one, MNC, mucous neck cell. Number two, chief cells, also called peptic cells. And number three, these are known as parietal cells. Parietal cells, also known as oxyntic cells. Oxyntic cells. Parietal cells or oxyntic cells, they produce hydrochloric acid, they produce HCl, hydrochloric acid, and they also produce a very, very important substance. It is a factor, a glycoprotein, which is called intrinsic factor. Intrinsic factor. Okay, so number one, hydrochloric acid, and number two, intrinsic factor. Chief cells or peptic cells produce zymogens. Two zymogens are produced here. Number one is pepsinogen, and number two, prorenin. Two zymogens are produced. I'll put conditions apply here. And what is the condition? It is only found in infants and children. So I'll put two asterisks there in prorenin. It means that it is only found in infants and children. Prorenin. See, renin with 2N. MNC stands for mucous neck cells. And what do they produce? They produce mucus. They produce a thick mucus, insoluble mucus, a thick insoluble mucus. Chief cells or peptic cells, they produce zymogens. Zymogens means inactive enzymes. And parietal cells or oxyntic cells produce hydrochloric acid and intrinsic factor. Now, let me take you to the story of the intrinsic factor. Once upon a time, people were suffering from a type of anemia. They were suffering from type of anemia. When the doctors did their examination, the blood examination, they found that the amount of hemoglobin is less, and therefore they call it anemia. But the RBCs are very unusual. They are large RBCs. RBCs are not the normal RBCs. RBCs are large. I'm talking about these cells, okay? RBCs are very large. Under the microscope, you find large nucleated cells. RBCs are large and nucleated rather than enucleated, and by concave, they become larger and still the nucleus is there. They are immature. They do have hemoglobin. I'm not saying they don't have hemoglobin, but it is not enough hemoglobin they have. RBCs are larger, they are nucleated. That means more or less they are immature cells. Okay? Then they found that this anemia is due to deficiency of one factor, and that factor later on called a vitamin called cobalamin. The vitamin called cyanocobalamin. It is a cobalt containing vitamin, cyanocobalamin. Cyanocobalamin. In your age, I remember the spelling into three parts. There is a cyano, cobal, and amine. Three parts, cyanocobalamin. In the vitamin B complex group, this is actually given the title of B12. It is given the title of B12, vitamin B12, but it is cyanocobalamin. This is an extrinsic factor. This is an extrinsic factor responsible for this type of anemia. So deficiency of this factor will be having this type of anemia. And this type of anemia, these cells, what do these cells look like? They are called megaloblasts. They are called megaloblasts. Why they are called megaloblasts? They are larger, mega, and they are called blasts because they are immature cells. They are large, immature cells. They are large, immature cells. Okay, you understand this story? The story about the anemia, a type of anemia where the cells are larger than usual. They are immature RBCs, so they are not very functional, and they found that this is due to deficiency of a substance, a factor called cyanocobalamin. It is considered to be a vitamin, and it is categorized under the B complex group, and it is given the number B12. Vitamin B12 or cyanocobalamin responsible for this type of anemia. Okay. So far all points are clear? Okay? But in some individual, they found that even when they supply cyanocobalamin, they are not getting treated. In some individual, even giving them cyanocobalamin, okay, they are not getting correct. They are not getting all right. Still anemia persists. Doctors were thinking, what is happening? And they found that there is something inside responsible. Some intrinsic factor is there. Many generations of doctors came and researchers came, and once upon a time, the researchers found that there is a substance which helps in the absorption of this vitamin B12. Some people, normally people have, some people do not have that, and therefore absorption of vitamin B12 does not take place. Without vitamin B12 in the blood, the maturation of RBCs will not take place. You understand this point? Got this point? Okay. So later on, they found that what type of people have this problem? What type of people have this problem that they are given vitamin B12 capsules, still they are not getting all right? They found that they have a disease in their stomach. Their mucosa is atrophied, their mucosa is degenerated, and because the mucosa of the stomach is degenerated, even supplying them with vitamin B12, they are not getting all right. Then they found that there is a substance called intrinsic factor, and this intrinsic factor is actually produced from the stomach. And then it became very easy for them to find that this is produced by a cell peru, oxyntic cells or parietal cells. They are called parietal because they are found in the parietes. Okay, so if I make these, here. They are called parietal because they are here. They are just like this. They are parietal cells, also called oxyntic cells. They produce two substances. One is hydrochloric acid, and the other one is intrinsic factor. This is Casil who described them. Therefore, people also call it Casil's intrinsic factor. Casil's intrinsic factor, and this is responsible for absorption of cyanocobalamin and deficiency of cyanocobalamin. Even when you give them the cyanocobalamin orally, still they are deficient. This type of anemia is called pernicious anemia. Pernicious anemia. This type of anemia is called pernicious anemia. For you, because this much of detailed understanding is not expected from you, you can simply say, they may ask you, deficiency of vitamin B12 leads to which of the following? Answer is pernicious anemia. Or pernicious anemia is due to out of the following? Answer is deficiency of vitamin B12. Which one is a cobalt containing vitamin? Vitamin B12. What is the full name of vitamin B12? Cyanocobalamin. Understood? Okay, so this is truth. Okay, when atrophy of the stomach mucosa, and therefore they still have anemia. Three type of cells. Okay, one is MNC, one is chief, and one is parietal. You can call it PARO. We can call it PAR-O. PAR for parietal, O for oxyntic. Here you can call it chief, and here you can call it MNC. MNC also stand for multinational company. Chief is the head, and who is the head of MNC? PARO. PARO is the head of MNC. MNC chief PARO. MNC mucous neck cell, chief cell, zymogenic cell. They produce zymogens. And third one is PARO. PAR for parietal and O for oxyntic. Make sense? So these questions can be given. 2018, a question came, which of the following cells in the stomach is related to hematopoiesis or erythropoiesis? Which of the following cells in the stomach is responsible for erythropoiesis? Yes, please. Can you tell me the answer? Name the cell in the stomach glands responsible for indirectly related to erythropoiesis. Answer is PARO. Good. PARO, parietal cells. Okay, bachcho? So this is, I think, clear to you. These glands produce a juice called gastric juice. Gastric juice is an acidic digestive juice. According to our textbook, the average pH is 1.8. Gastric juice contains hydrochloric acid, also contains intrinsic factor for vitamin B12 absorption. The enzymes are, one is, yes please, pepsinogen, and one is prorenin. A very small amount of lipase, also called gastric lipase. Gastric lipase is also found, but it is a very, very small amount, so we can even ignore it. But in the questions, we cannot ignore which of the following is also found in the gastric juice. Okay, pepsinogen, prorenin, gastric lipase. 4 is all of the above. Answer will be all of the above. Pepsinogen, prorenin, these are inactive enzymes, and lipase. Lipase do not require to be inactive. They are produced in the active form. Pepsinogen is activated by hydrochloric acid into pepsin. So pepsinogen is activated into pepsin by hydrochloric acid. It becomes pepsin. And even this pepsin is also autocatalytic. And you can write here pepsin, that if some pepsin become active, then this pepsin can also activate other pepsinogen. Prorenin is activated again by pepsin. I told you it is autocatalytic and it becomes active renin. But so I think you understood, and this is, I told you about this, that this is found in the gastric juice of infants and children. Infants and children. This is about the gastric juice. But so among the enzymes, please remember 3 enzymes. After that, let me discuss with you the third gland in our discussion is liver. Liver is the largest gland of the body. It's the largest gland of the body. Can you tell me the weight of the liver? Anyone? Can you tell me the weight of the liver, bachcho? The weight of the liver. Yes, it is about 1.5, 1.2 to 1.5 kilogram. Okay, I think textbook has given this 1.2 to 1.5 kilogram in weight. Can you please check from the textbook what is the value of textbook? 1.2 to 1.5 kilogram, 1.2 to 1.5 kilogram in weight. So it is a big sized organ. Now, it is present in the right side or the left side of the abdomen? Right or left side of the abdomen? It is in the right side of the abdomen. It is in the right side. Bachcho, if I divide the abdominal cavity into 4 quadrants, this is pelvis, and what is this? This is diaphragm. This is diaphragm. And this is thoracic cavity, abdominal cavity. If I divide it into 4 quadrants, then this will be found in the upper right quadrant. If I divide this into 4 quadrants, so where will be the liver found? I'll show you the liver. Here will be the liver found. This is the right lobe of the liver, and this is, sorry, it is ज़्यादा बड़ा हो गया. Okay, so here is the liver. This is on the upper right side, just below the diaphragm, upper right side. It is surrounded by a white fibrous connective tissue capsule, and this is known as Glissen's capsule. White fibrous connective tissue capsule called Glissen's capsule. Glissen's capsule. Okay. And below this, below the right lobe, this is the right lobe, this is the left lobe. Below the right lobe, you can notice that there is a pouch hanging below the right one, and this is here. You can see this much part cannot be seen. Okay, this much part is, so this is a pouch, and this pouch is known as here comes. This is called gallbladder. This pouch is called gallbladder. Okay. Then from here, ducts arise, and those ducts arise, and the common bile duct, and then it enters into the duodenum. It enters into duodenum. Now I'll show you what is coming from here is the esophagus, and identify what is this. This is so you can see a J-shaped structure, which is the stomach, and you can see a C-shaped structure. Very clearly, you can notice it is a C-shaped structure, which is known as the duodenum. And in the duodenum, open the ducts. The duct coming from the liver is opening into duodenum. Not only that, there is another gland whose ducts also open into the duodenum. So there is another gland can be found here. It is a large mirchi-shaped gland, and its duct also merge along with the duct from the gallbladder, and it also opens into the duodenum. So you can see that duodenum is getting the duct from the liver, from the gallbladder, and from the pancreas. This red colored structure which I have shown is the pancreas. The head of the pancreas is found in the concavity of duodenum. You can see this is the duodenum, okay? It is duodenum. It is duodenum. It is very small, smallest part of the small intestine. This is stomach, and this is on the left-hand side. So on the left-hand side is stomach, and on the right-hand side, we have the liver. This is thoracic cavity, okay? You know thoracic cavity, this is thoracic cavity, the right lung, and this is the left lung. As you know that the left lung is little smaller than the right lung. Right lung is made up of 3 lobes and left lung is made up of 2 lobes. This will be done in the next chapter. Right now, just understand. And what is found here? Okay, what is found here? Never make a mistake in this. What is found here? This is the diaphragm. This is dome-shaped diaphragm. Diaphragm, which is a characteristic of mammals, which separate the thoracic cavity from the abdominal cavity. Bachcho, I think this is clear so far. Okay, so liver is divided into 2 lobes, the right lobe and the left lobe. But if you see inside the liver, there are still other mini livers can be seen. Now, these are the functional and structural units. These are structural and functional units, and they are hexagonal to octagonal in shape. They are hexagonal to octagonal in shape, and this is also surrounded by the same white fibrous capsule, And you know what is this capsule called? Glissen's capsule. This capsule is called Glissen's capsule. This capsule is Glissen's capsule. Now, this is inside the liver lobe. What we can call them? We can call them lobule, hepatic lobules, hepatic lobules. These are the functional units of the liver. They can be hexagonal to octagonal in shape. But so far points are clear? There is a central vein in each lobule. There is a central vein, and all around cells can be found. But cells of the stomach or of the liver are arranged in rows. So here cells are there, and you can find these, they make these thick rows. Cells are here. And you know what these rows are called? These are called hepatic chords, okay? Cells are there in these lobes, cells are there, and these are called hepatic chords, okay? Hepatic chords. There is a central vein and hepatic chords. And in between the hepatic chords is a blood-filled area. It is a blood-filled area, and this blood-filled area is known as sinusoid. Here, a blood-filled area can be seen here, and this blood-filled area is called sinusoid, liver sinusoid, okay? And around these lobule, you will find that there are triad, okay? So 3 things can be noted here. One is an artery, one is a vein, and one is a duct. In the similarly, artery, vein, duct. So there will be artery, vein, duct, like that. So this is called portal triad. It is called portal triad. And why this is called portal triad? Because there is a portal vein, a branch of hepatic portal vein. This is branch of hepatic artery, And what you find this one? This is bile ductule. Smaller than duct is a ductule, bile ductule. You can remember them by my name. And how my initials are? DAV, Dr. Anurag Verma, DAV. So D for ductule, A for artery, and V for vein. In hepatic triad or portal triad, there is a ductule, there is an artery, branch of hepatic artery, and branch of hepatic portal vein. Bachcho, I think you understand. So blood from the artery and the vein is filled here. You know that liver has a dual blood supply. Liver has a dual blood supply. Dual blood supply. Liver has a dual blood supply. In this, any doubt you have, you can tell me, and then I will proceed. Okay? Just go through what I have taught so far on the page. Just go through this, and any doubt you can tell me. I'll explain you. Come on. Sinusoids, yes, blood-filled area can be called sinusoids. Hepatic sinusoids. These individual units are called lobules. It is a functional unit of liver. Okay, bachcho? So what you are seeing here? You are seeing hepatic lobule. Hepatic lobule. Ductule, okay, ductule, beta. Ductule, actually, these are the ductule which ultimately form the hepatic ducts. So all the ductule of the right lobe will combine to form a right hepatic duct, and all the ductule of the left lobe they combine to form left hepatic duct. Both the hepatic duct, right and left, combine to form common hepatic duct, which actually pour the bile into a pouch called gallbladder. Now, then the gallbladder pumps this bile into a common duct, which is called CBD, common bile duct. So, smaller than duct is called ductule. And what this ductule carry? Bile. It carries bile. Who is making the bile? The liver cells making the bile. Where are the liver cells? The liver cells are arranged in these cords. So they have arranged and they have formed cords. Okay, just like you can imagine, like you go to a school and there is a recess in the school, and all children are running here and there, and so many children are there in the ground. Then the recess is over, and then the teacher or principal comes and then arrange as per your classes. So all the students, they form lines like 6th A, 6th B, 6th C, like that, 8th A. All these lines are there. In the same way, these lines are formed by the liver cells around a vein which is called central vein. You understand? So these are not a single cell actually, because you can understand that a single cell is very, very small. So multiple cells, they arrange like a cord, and these can be called hepatic cord. But this structure is not described in the NCERT, just the name is given. So I do not expect so many questions like questions on the portal triad. But to make you understand, I have to explain that two of the vessels pour the blood into the liver. The liver has a dual blood supply. One vessel is the hepatic artery, and the other one is hepatic portal vein. A vein, yes, a vein, special vein, which supply blood to an organ. Normally, veins carry away the blood. They don't supply the blood. But portal veins are the one which actually enter into another organ. Rather than joining to form and go to the heart, no, they go and they enter into another organ. These veins are known as portal veins. Very few portal veins are there in the vertebrates. In animal kingdom, I described about 3 portal systems. Okay, these are renal portal system, hepatic portal system, and hypophicial portal system. Renal, in the lower vertebrates like amphibians, they have renal portal system, where the blood from the hind part of the body is form a vein, and this vein actually supply blood to kidneys. The blood from this vein go into the kidney, and therefore this vein is called renal portal vein. Okay, right? This is only found in the amphibians. But hepatic portal system is found in all the vertebrates. In all the tetrapods, I'm sure they are found. Hypophicial is also found in human beings, and this connects the hypothalamus to the pituitary. In a different chapter, we will discuss about hypophicial. I think here you can understand about the portal vein. Which one? Hepatic portal vein. On the board, I have written it like HPV. If you have any doubt, you can write here, and if not, then we can continue. These are the hepatic sinusoids. On the margin of the sinusoids, you will find large cells, star-shaped cells. Large star-shaped cells are here. On the margins, you will find large star-shaped cells. Now, these are star-shaped cells. And the specialty about them is the moment they see any bacteria, they engulf it. The moment they see any bacteria, virus, they engulf it. Okay. So what are these? These are the macrophages. Large. By large only you get a hint that these are the macrophages. They are large cell, star-shaped cells, and these star-shaped cells lining the hepatic sinusoids are hepatic macrophages. They are also called Kupffer cells. They are also called Kupffer cells. Kupffer. Kupffer cells. These can be called Kupffer cells. Okay, just remember the name. A direct question can be expected in the liver macrophages. Kupffer cells. Okay, bacho? That is about the liver. With respect to the digestive system, liver makes bile. The bile comes into the ducts, as I told you, right hepatic duct and left hepatic duct, and this bile forms a common duct, and this bile first go into a pouch. So liver does not send it to the duodenum, liver send it first to the pouch. This pouch is called gallbladder. From the gallbladder, the bile now it goes into the duodenum. Understood? Okay. Certain hormonal changes happen, and due to those hormones, the bile from the gallbladder is poured into the duodenum. So, number one, liver to gallbladder, gallbladder to duodenum. Liver to gallbladder, gallbladder to duodenum. Okay. So, with respect to digestive system, liver makes bile. Bile is alkaline digestive juice. The pH of bile is given to be 7.8. The pH of bile 7.8. Bile contains bile salts, and bile pigments. Bile contains bile salts and bile pigments. Now, bile pigments, pigment is anything which is colored. Okay, pigments, colored substances. And these colored substances are formed from the metabolism of hemoglobin. Bile pigments are waste products. They are waste products. They are excretory products. They are excretory products. Excretory products. Example of bile pigments: bilirubin, biliverdin. These are bile pigments. Bilirubin is yellow in color and biliverdin is green in color. Bile pigments. What is the function of bile pigments? No function. They are waste products. They don't help in digestion. They are waste products. But bile salts, they are important. These bile salts are formed from cholesterol. They are derived from cholesterol. And example of bile salts like sodium, taurocolate, sodium taurocolate, and sodium glycocolate. If you can learn the name, it is fine. If not, then don't take tension, because textbook has not given these names. Remember that coal is there, so this will remind you that they are derived from cholesterol. Sodium is easy, glyco easy, col 8. call 8. Tauro, T-A-U-R-O, Tauro, call 8. Glyco, call 8. Say with me, Tauro, call 8. Glyco, call 8. And they are derived from cholesterol. Okay? These bile salts, these help in emulsification of fats. They help in emulsification of fats, of dietary fats, emulsification of fats. If you add this bile salt into a test tube containing oil and water, and you just little bit, you can shake, you will find that there will be a mixture of oil and water formed, and that is called emulsion. Once again, if you take a test tube, take water into it, and then you pour some coconut oil. You know that coconut oil starts floating on the surface, okay? You will be doing this experiment in your biochemistry lab in the first year of medical syllabus. And then you will be given some bile salt. You just take a bile salt in pinch and sprinkle, just sprinkle. You'll find some magic happens. You'll find this oil start melting down. The oil start melting down. You just shake a little. Don't do vigorous, even little bit shaking, and you find that a mixture of a homogeneous mixture of oil and water formed. This homogeneous mixture of oil and water is known as emulsion. Emulsion. And who has done that? Bile salts. Bile salts have turned oil, this is coconut oil, and this is water, and they form emulsion. What has happened in emulsion, what these dots I have made, actually the oil, the coconut oil has formed tiny droplets. The coconut oil has formed tiny droplets. As a result of that, suppose if a big drop break into 5 small drops, what has happened? If you take the surface area of a bigger drop and surface area of the smaller one, obviously the smaller one is lesser, but you take cumulative, you add all the surface area, it will be much higher. So by breaking into these smaller droplets, the surface area has increased. So think of surface area which has increased many folds due to emulsification. And now the lipase can easily digest them. The lipase, the lipid digesting enzyme. So I'll show you the lipase action. You can imagine the lipase to be like this. The lipase can easily digest them now. Okay, lipase is easily digesting them. Lipase is digesting them. Otherwise, lipase could not digest properly because lipase are not getting area to work upon. They are not getting the area to work upon. The substrate has to bind to the enzyme, and then only the enzyme action takes place. Okay, so these are the lipase. Now, my question is, statement true or false? Statement. Bile salts help in the emulsification of fats. True. Bile salts cause digestion of fats. Bile salts cause digestion of fats. Tell me, digestion of fats. Bile salts cause digestion of fats. Now, actually, we don't say that they are causing digestion. Okay, digestion word is used for lipase. Lipase causes digestion. Bile salts only emulsification. Don't say it is digestion. However, it is breaking, right? But if you compare with lipase, we assign the work of digestion to lipase and emulsification to. And without emulsification, lipase action will not take place. Digestion will be happened by lipase only. Lipase digests the fats. And what is these fats actually contains? The dietary fats contain triglycerides. Okay, we'll talk about that later on. Just understand bile salts. Statement: bile pigments causes emulsification of fats. Bile pigments causes emulsification of fats. True or false? You can just write F for false and T for true. Bile pigments help in emulsification of fats. And the answer is false. Okay, it is bile salts and not bile pigments. But so I hope this is clear. Apart from that, what is present in the bile, you can find cholesterol is present in the bile. Cholesterol, you can find some other sterols and fat-soluble vitamins. Some fat-soluble vitamins can also be found. Okay, some fat-soluble vitamins can also be found. Degraded sterols can be found. Degraded sterols can be found. Fat-soluble vitamins can be found. Some phospholipids can also be found. Some phospholipids. See, open the textbook and confirm as per the textbook what they have given. Phospholipids. Some phospholipids can be found. Some degraded sterol hormones can be found. Degraded sterol hormones, some fat-soluble vitamins. If our textbook has not mentioned about the fat-soluble vitamins, we can ignore fat-soluble vitamins. Okay, bachcho? Some points they have given in digestion and some points they have given in the glands. Okay, so I think they have not given alkaline pancreatic juice. This is about the pancreas, and hepatopancreatic. This is about this. And here comes the each lobule is covered by a thin connective tissue sheath called the Glissen's capsule. The bile secreted by the hepatic cell passes through the hepatic ducts and is stored and concentrated in a thin muscular sac called gallbladder. So not only stored but also concentrated. The duct of gallbladder along with the hepatic ducts. Okay, so this is about that. And well, bile pigments mentioned here. The bile released into the duodenum contains bile pigments, bile salts, cholesterol, and phospholipids, but no enzymes. Remember that enzymes are not found. However, some fat-soluble vitamins can be found, but enzymes are not found. Phospholipids and cholesterol. Bile help in emulsification of fats, that is, breakdown of the fats into very small micelles. Bile also activates lipase. These are the functions of bile. Bile also activates the lipid digestive enzyme. However, this activation is not the activation of the other protein digesting enzyme, but still, this is one of the functions that it can activate. It can activate the lipase. But so I think this point is clear. Let us go to the textbook and do it in a proper form. The pH, remember the pH, okay? And also remember bile salts, the name of the bile salts, and help in emulsification of fats. And you know what happens when these small droplets ultimately form micelles. The small droplets ultimately form micelles. But so after the bile, what the bile contains, let us understand about the duct system, okay? So very easily we can understand a right hepatic duct, which is a larger duct. A smaller one is a thinner one is a left hepatic duct, and then it becomes the common hepatic duct. This is a common hepatic duct. Common hepatic duct opens into a pouch called gallbladder, and then from the neck of the gallbladder, I'll show you this, okay? From the neck of the gallbladder, a duct is connected, and this ultimately comes into the common bile duct. Common bile duct. Common bile duct merges with main pancreatic duct. It merges with the main pancreatic duct and forms a common duct which is called hepatopancreatic duct. So this is a main pancreatic duct. I can show this is pancreas, okay? And this is the main pancreatic duct. This is the main pancreatic duct, main pancreatic duct, and now this is a combined duct called please note down, hepatopancreatic duct. Understood, bachcho? Okay. This is the gallbladder, and this is a bladder duct, also called cystic. This is called cystic duct. This duct is called common bile duct. This is called common bile duct. In my discussion, I will be calling it as CBD now. Common bile duct, CBD. Hepatopancreatic duct, HPD. I will call it HPD, hepatopancreatic duct. And then this duct becomes wider. And you know what this wider duct called? Ampulla, and this can be called HP, ampulla, hepatopancreatic ampulla. It is called hepatopancreatic ampulla. And this ampulla actually opens into duodenum. So here is the C-shaped duodenum. Duodenum is here, and then it opens into the middle of the duodenum. Almost in the middle of the duodenum, it opens. Understood? Okay. So you can see the duct system. The right hepatic duct, this is the right hepatic duct, and this one is the left hepatic duct. This is cystic duct, this is gallbladder, this is common bile duct, this one is main pancreatic duct, this gland is the pancreas, okay, and this is hepatopancreatic duct, this is hepatopancreatic ampulla. And you know, it is wider, no doubt, but there is a band of circular muscles found here, another band of circular muscles found here. So two band of circular muscles found, one at the opening of the ampulla and one at the tip, at the end of the common bile duct. You know that these band of circular muscles are called sphincters. So we can call these sphincters as this one. It is a sphincter, okay? The name given to this sphincter is sphincter of Oddi. Just remember the name, sphincter of Oddi. And this sphincter is called sphincter of Boyden. How I remembered? I remembered B for B. The bile duct has Boyden. Sphincter of Boyden. Bile duct has Boyden. Sphincter of Boyden. Oddi is present on the ampulla. At the tip of the ampulla, sphincter of Oddi. Understood? Okay. All points clear? So this is a duct system, and this one is given in the textbook, bacho, and therefore I call it very, very important. Okay. And these names are also very important. What is the name of the duct formed by merger of CBD, common hepatic duct, and main pancreatic duct? The main pancreatic duct joins another duct to form hepatopancreatic duct. What is that duct? Answer is CBD, common bile duct. Once again, the main pancreatic duct joins what to form the hepatopancreatic duct? Answer is common bile duct. Bachcho, hope this diagram is clear. Two sphincters at the base of the bile duct is a Boyden. Okay. A composition of bile along with the pH, etc., and the hepatic lobule, the structural unit of liver. Liver is the largest gland. It is on the right-hand side of the upper abdominal cavity. On the left-hand side, upper left, you have got the stomach, and liver is the heaviest one. heaviest organ, you can see up to 1.5 kilogram in weight. Okay, bachcho, and please understand that all these duct from the liver and the duct from the pancreas, they form a combined duct, and this combined duct actually opens into duodenum. Duodenum is the smallest part of the small intestine. It is the smallest part of the small intestine. Gastric juice, you can see gastric juice, composition of gastric juice, 3 enzymes. I have told you pepsinogen, prorenin, and gastric lipase. A very small amount of gastric lipase is found. Intrinsic factor for vitamin B12, and this is HCl, hydrochloric acid, and the pH of average pH of 1.8, average pH of 1.8. Bachcho, the stomach glands, either simple tubular glands or simple branch tubular glands, and they are the modification of mucosa. This is the mucosa of stomach, mucosa of stomach, mucosa of stomach. This is the mucosa of stomach, okay? And the 3 type of cells in the mucosa, MNC, chief, paro. Paro means parietal, also called oxyntic cell. Chief cells, also called peptic cells. They produce the zymogens, and MNC, of course, MNC, mucous neck cell, produce the mucus, okay? Saliva, pH of saliva is an important question. pH of saliva, it is almost maintain neutral, slightly acidic side, but almost there are buffers acting to maintain the pH of saliva. Bachcho, then the enzymes in saliva, amylase and lysozyme. Amylase for starch digestion and lysozyme for digesting the cell wall of bacteria. Small amounts of urea can also be found in the saliva as per our textbook. Now, these are the 5 glands, salivary glands I have discussed, gastric glands also discussed, and liver along with the duct system I have discussed. I am now discussing the pancreas. It is easy because we have to discuss one part of pancreas, which is the exocrine part of pancreas. Let us continue, bachcho. Pancreas. This is, on this page, I have explained what is an emulsion. Emulsion, when fats turn into tiny, tiny droplets, and that forms a homogeneous mixture, and this is called emulsion. This is done by bile salt, and you can, right now you can learn it, but in the first year syllabus in biochemistry laboratory, you will do this experiment wherein you have to add bile salt into the test tube containing oil and water. Bachcho, here I have explained you type of anemia formed due to deficiency of vitamin B12. But this is a pernicious anemia, which is caused due to deficiency of vitamin B12. It is not deficiency of vitamin B12 in the diet. No, diet contains sufficient amount of vitamin B12, but still deficiency occurs in the blood. Amount of vitamin B12 is lesser because of atrophy of the mucosa of the stomach. This type of anemia is called pernicious anemia. In this anemia, the RBCs are larger cells, they are immature cells. They don't become mature. Here you can learn that the immature RBCs, also called erythroblasts, in presence of vitamin B12, also another vitamin called folic acid, it becomes erythrocytes. This is a maturation of vitamin of RBCs. Maturation of RBCs require, number 1, vitamin B12, another vitamin called folic acid. Both belong to the B category. Okay. So extrinsic factor is cyanocobalamin, vitamin B12, and intrinsic factor is a glycoprotein produced from the gastric glands. But I think so far everything is clear to your mind. Now pancreas, okay? Now pancreas, if you open the pancreas, you will find that there are 2 types of tissue inside the pancreas. Okay? Now the main tissue is one tissue, and in that you will find some clusters of cells. You can find some clusters of cells. Some 2-3 type of cells are there in these clusters, okay? some clusters of cells can be found. You know what these clusters are called? These are called very small islands. Just like in an ocean, these are islands. Island means they're so small in comparison to the big size that this is compared to an ocean, and these are called islands, and very, very tiny islands. We can call them islets, okay? We can call them islets. So, very tiny island or islets. Islets. The scientist who explained them is called Langerhans. Langerhans. So we can call these islets as islets of Langerhans. Islets of Langerhans. Now you find that these islets of Langerhans, they produce the pancreatic hormones. Pancreatic hormones. Pancreatic hormones. Islets of Langerhans, how many are they approximately? 1 to 2 million in number. 1 to 2 million in number. 1 to 2 million in number. Islets are 1 to 2 million in number, but the comparison to the large amount of exocrine tissue and this endocrine tissue, you can see the comparison because they're very small. They constitute very, very small quantity. You can see these islands, they comprise 1 to 2% of total pancreatic tissue. Pancreatic tissue, you understand? They represent 1 to 2%. Yes, their number is very large, but in comparison to the exocrine tissue, they are only 1 to 2%. 1 to 2%, so just remember 1 to 2 islets of Langerhans, 1 to 2 million in number, and these corresponds to 1 to 2% of the total pancreatic tissue. We'll discuss about these islands in a different chapter. This is about this part, which is exocrine part. Exocrine part of the pancreas produce pancreatic juice. It is an alkaline digestive juice called pancreatic juice. Pancreatic juice. In pancreatic juice, first of all, let us learn the pH. The pH of pancreatic juice is 7.8. The enzymes present in the pancreatic juice, all enzymes for all the food components can be found in the pancreatic juice. Once again, enzymes for all the food components can be found. So enzymes for the carbohydrates, enzymes for the proteins, enzymes for the lipids or fats, and enzymes for the nucleic acids. Nucleic acids. All enzymes of all the components can be found in the pancreatic juice, okay? So these are the main components which the animal body digests, okay? A, B, C, D, okay? Let me write the name. Carbohydrate, this is amylase, also called pancreatic amylase. Pancreatic amylase. Enzyme is same as that of the saliva, but salivary amylase work best at 6.8 and this work best at 7.8. This is the main difference here. In the proteins, we have got 3 enzymes. Number 1 is trypsin. Number 2 is chymotrypsin. And number 3 is carboxypeptidase. Okay, so CTC, you can remember by CTC, chymotrypsin, trypsin, and carboxypeptidase. Okay, CTC, chymotrypsin, T for trypsin, and again C, carboxypeptidase. You can learn them by CTC. For the fats, no special name. We can call it pancreatic lipase. All enzymes can be called pancreatic lipase. Lipids ke liye lipase. And nucleic acids, we have got nucleases. For DNA, we have DNAs. For RNA, we have RNAs, nucleases. Okay, 3 protein digesting enzymes are there. 3 enzymes, 1 for carbo, 1 for lipids, and 1 for nucleic acid. Nucleases are like DNAs, DNAs and RNAs, DNAs and RNAs, DNAs, RNAs. Okay, okay, bachcho. Cystic duct. Okay, cystic duct is the duct of gallbladder. Duct connected to the neck of gallbladder is cystic duct. Any other doubt, bachcho? Any other doubt? Okay, which digestive juice is called complete digestive juice? It is given the tag of complete digestive juice. Tell me the answer. Which digestive juice can be called complete digestive juice? Bachcho? Pancreatic juice. Yes, Bhavani, this is pancreatic juice. For all the food components, just remember the name of the enzymes for proteins, CTC. For others, just the name amylase, lipase, nuclease, amylase, lipase, nuclease. CTC, chymotrypsin, trypsin, carboxypeptidase. Bachcho, these are produced in inactive form. They are produced in inactive form. Inactive forms like trypsinogen, chymotrypsinogen, and procarboxypeptidase. Trypsinogen, chymotrypsinogen, and procarboxypeptidase. Trypsinogen, chymotrypsinogen, and procarboxypeptidase. This is the inactive form. To write inactive form, we either write pro or we can write ogen at the end as a suffix, either prefix as pro. In some we use a suffix, in some we use a prefix. You have to learn whatever the names are, you have to learn like that. These are the pancreatic enzymes, bachcho. And the pH of pancreatic juice, do you remember? Yes, it was 7.8. And bachcho, just 5 more minutes, I will complete this. Another glands, intestinal glands. Intestinal glands. Okay. These are present in the small intestine. Small intestine. Small intestine. Can you please tell me what are those glands called? Anyone can tell me the name of these glands? Come on. Now this class, the remaining part of the class is just questions to you. Bachcho, tell me. Yes, very good. One is crypts of Lieberkuhn. Yes, crypts of Lieberkuhn. Very good. Crypts of Lieberkuhn. Crypts of, see, I'm not pronouncing it. I don't know what's the pronunciation. Therefore, I have learned the spelling. Lieberkuhn. Lieberkuhn. Crypts of Lieberkuhn. And the other one, any other? Do you remember any other gland in the intestine, small intestine? Given the hint, who will tell me? Priyanka, Pavani, Rohit. Okay, who will tell me the answer? Goblet cells. Yes, some substantial goblet cells are present in the entire mucosa. They are also present in the mucosa of esophagus, large intestine. So obviously, I'm not asking about the goblet cell. Any other gland, brush border cells. Beta, brush border cells are found in crypts of Lieberkuhn. इसके अंदर होते हैं brush border cells. Brush border cells. It contains brush border cells. Come on. So ये तो नहीं है. Any other? Okay, hint. This is present in the submucosa. This is in the mucosa. This is present in mucosa. And the other one is present in the submucosa. A biggest hint I have given you, submucosa. Yes, please. Yes, you got the answer. The other one is Brunner's gland. Brunner's gland. They are present in the submucosa of duodenum. Submucosa of duodenum. This is present in the mucosa of small intestine. Mucosa of complete small intestine. Mucosa of a small intestine, duodenum, jejunum, ileum, but Brunner's gland are found in the duodenum only. Brunner's gland. What does it produce? It produces mucus. What type of mucus? Alkaline. It produces alkaline mucus. Any enzymes? No enzymes. It is not producing any enzymes. No enzymes. Alkaline mucus. So the enzymes produced by the crypts of Lieberkühn, enzymes, okay. Again the same thing. This is the last 2 minutes. Last 2 minutes I am taking. Okay. Again the same thing. We'll divide in the same way. Carbo, starting with the carbo, then proteins, carbo, proteins, then for fats and nucleic acids. Nucleic acids. Come on. Carbohydrate, we have got disaccharides like maltase, like isomaltase, like lactase and sucrase for digesting sucrose, cane sugar, panchadara, chini. Okay, for proteins we have dipeptidase for protein. For fats we have got intestinal lipase. That was pancreatic lipase. This is intestinal lipase. And nucleic acid, we have got nucleotidase, and then we have also another one, nucleosidase, dipeptidase for protein, for fats, lipase, intestinal lipase, nucleic acids. So after the digestion of the DNA, RNA, we get nucleotides. So for digesting nucleotide, we have nucleotidase. For digesting nucleosides, we have nucleosidase. But to understand, for carbohydrates, these are the disaccharide. Okay. These can be remembered by a trick called Dan Mills. The trick can be called Dan Mills. Okay, are you ready? Come on. Don't see the board. If you can, without seeing the board, you can answer. D stands for dipeptidase. E for one more, enterokinase. One here is enterokinase. Now this is a social worker enzyme. It's a social worker enzyme. It is working for activating the pancreatic enzyme. Trypsinogen is activated by enterokinase. It activates trypsinogen. It is an activator enzyme. It can be called activator enzyme. I will call it a social worker enzyme. Why social worker? Because it is actually activating someone else's enzyme. It is activating pancreatic enzyme rather than enzyme of succus entericus. So D stands for dipeptidase, E stands for enterokinase, N stands for 2, nucleotidase and nucleosidase, M stands for maltase, I for isomaltase, L for lactase, again L for lipase, and S for sucrase. Can we go from the back? So sucrase, lipase, lactase, isomaltase, maltase, nucleotidase, nucleosidase, enterokinase, dipeptidase, enterokinase, nucleotidase, nucleosidase, maltase, isomaltase, lactase, lipase, and sucrase. That means there is no amylase. Please note down, there is no amylase, and today's class is over. There is no amylase. If you are ready, I can even take extra classes. But for that, I should need a good, attendance. Once, can you show last second slide? I will share the slides with you. Why bile pigments are required? They are not required. The liver is actually pouring them. We have to remove somewhere, now. So bile pigments cannot be filtered by the urine, by the kidneys. So they cannot be removed through the urine. Okay. So how to remove them? Therefore, liver pour them in the bile. But because bile actually, through the bile, it can go to the outside. So it is not a functional thing. It is just a way of excreting the liver rather than getting filtered from the kidney. It is actually pouring them into the bile. Okay. Can you please send the page 6 paper? Gagandeep, okay, today I will do. For 2 days I was in fever, so today I will check the papers. Can you please send the page? Okay, this is all over. Lesson is weekend test. Yeah. No, this is not. The complete chapter is there in the weekend test. We need one more class. Yes, definitely we need one big class. If you are ready for the extra class, I will definitely take extra class. Okay, so maybe tomorrow. Today is Friday. Tomorrow we can have a scheduled class and an extra class. In the scheduled class, most of the thing in the scheduled class I can explain you digestion and absorption, and 1 hour extra where I can tell you about the diseases also. Okay, but extra class you should have. Respiration we will not be giving in this weekend. Respiration will not be giving in this weekend. But I think all points are clear. Okay, Pakka extra class. Yes, the extra class will be Pakka, but students have to really attend the class. Okay, I will try to I will try to announce for the extra class. Let us see how many of you turn up. Okay, bachcho, all the best. Bachcho, bye bye, take care. I will share this. Yeah, this is for you. You can scan it and then you can have all the board work you can have in your mobile phone. Bye bye, take care. God bless.